Good Tuesday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to tonight's top stories, let's take a quick look outside our frigid weather window on this Tuesday, final day of fall. And boy, it looks a lot like winter out there, doesn't it? Very cold temperatures, lots of snow in the Wenatchee area, anywhere between 5 and 7 inches of snow. That's throughout the Wenatchee Valley. This is our Cascadian Sky-Fi Tower camera looking down at Wenatchee Avenue, and a few cars and some traffic this afternoon, but not a whole lot of it, and that's good news. Stay home if you can. And talk about very cold. It's going to be very cold, not only today, but tomorrow, once again on Thursday. We're talking high temperatures only in the single numbers with low temperatures below zero. As a matter of fact, as we get overnight tonight and into Wednesday and into Thursday morning, we could see wind chill temperatures between 25 and 30 degrees below zero, and it could be even colder in some other locations over in the Columbia Basin and up in the windier areas of the Waterville Plateau. So be very, very careful over the next couple of days, and we'll talk more about this weather system coming up a little bit later on. And now a few of the news stories we're following for you tonight. A two-car accident just east of Rock Island yesterday morning sent 3 people to the hospital and possible charges of vehicular assault. A former Eastmont school soccer coach is now jailed after a judge found him guilty of raping one of his student players. A man who allegedly stole tools from a shed in Moses Lake was arrested Sunday night by Ephrata police. And a house fire on South Miller Street in Wenatchee displaced 5 people last night. But first, our top story tonight, Highway 2 over Stevens Pass, Interstate 90 over Snoqualmie, and Highway 97 over Blewett all closed this afternoon due to severe mountain snows and dangerous travel conditions. The Washington State Department of Transportation announced all those closures. Well, the Blewett was announced at about 2 o'clock. Snoqualmie and Stevens announced about 12:20 this afternoon, as the Washington State Patrol handled multiple reports of spun-out vehicles and auto collisions on those 3 routes. The Tumwater Canyon section of Highway 2 just west of Leavenworth was also closed starting at Coles Corner due to the potential for avalanche danger. There was no estimated time for reopening on any of those passes. Well, it started with 2 arrests, then became 5. Now, Wenatchee Valley authorities are asking for federal charges against a group of men suspected of partnering to distribute fentanyl throughout the area. 39-year-old Caleb Ryan Ritz and 36-year-old Sean James Drummond were arrested on December 9th on suspicion of drug possession with intent to deliver. Last Friday, the Columbia River Drug Task Force arrested 34-year-old Casey Calvin Cooper of East Wenatchee, saying he possessed large amounts of fentanyl and methamphetamine and tried to destroy them when detectives arrested him at the Wenatchee Red Lion Hotel. Police say all 3 men conspired in drug sales with fellow suspects Matthew Dillon Hendricks and Casey McKinstry, who were arrested back in November. The 5 remained held in the Chelan County Jail. All currently face local charges, including drug possession with intent to sell. No federal counts have yet been filed. A 2-car accident just east of Rock Island yesterday morning sent 3 people to the hospital and possible charges of vehicular assault. Trooper Jeremy Weber of the Washington State Patrol reports at 11:36 a.m. a 1999 Ford Ranger pickup being driven by 22-year-old Gaspar Torreslino was traveling westbound on Highway 28 at the bottom of the Rock Island grade when the truck crossed the center line and struck a 2013 4-door Toyota head-on. Torreslino and both occupants of the Toyota, 38-year-old James Anderson and 33-year-old Jennifer Anderson, both from Medical Lake, were transported to Central Washington Hospital with what authorities describe as serious injuries. Weber says that Torreslino may have been impaired and that possible charges are forthcoming. A former Eastmont school soccer coach is now jailed after a judge found him guilty of raping one of his student players. 40-year-old Christian Florencio Barboza was convicted in a Douglas County bench trial on Monday on 3 charges of third-degree child rape. The sexual assaults occurred between 2005 and 2007 when Barboza was coaching youth soccer for Eastmont High School. The victim was about 14 years old at the time. Barboza chose a bench trial before a judge rather than a jury. Visiting Judge Henry Rawson of Okanogan County handed down the guilty verdict based on evidence, including text messages in which Barboza admitted to sexual contact with the student. He still faces trial in Chelan County on charges of child rape committed against the same victim in that jurisdiction. The judge ordered Barboza to be held in the Chelan County Jail until he's sentenced at a later date. Well, a man who allegedly stole tools from a shed in Moses Lake was arrested Sunday night by Ephrata police. The Grant County Sheriff's Office said 24-year-old Angel Lara was first encountered late Friday night near Morgan Road Northeast and Young Road Northeast outside Moses Lake when deputies responded to a suspicious person call. The Sheriff's Office said Lara was carrying 2 Milwaukee brand tool bags, but there was no cause to detain him. But the same deputy later noticed a tool shed with the door open, and the owner confirmed that 2 Milwaukee tool bags, an impact driver, and cordless drill were missing. The deputy also took a photo of a boot print in the snow outside the shed and noticed was sent out to be on the lookout for Lara. After a minor incident at the Walmart in Ephrata at about 9 p.m. on Sunday, an Ephrata police officer pulled over a vehicle with Lara inside. The officer reported finding the tool bags and tools inside the vehicle, and Lara was arrested on second-degree burglary. The sheriff's office said he was wearing boots with prints that matched those photographed outside that tool shed. Well, in other news, a house fire on South Miller Street in Wenatchee displaced 5 people last night. Kay McKellar of the Wenatchee Valley Fire District said the fire started in the basement rear of the 2-story home near Washington Park about 8:30 p.m. and then spread to the upper floor and exterior of that structure. She said the house is not livable and the Red Cross was contacted to assist the residents. Firefighters continued to work the fire until about 10:15 p.m. McKellar said investigators were on scene this morning working to determine the cause of that fire. Well, when we come back, avalanche beacon boards are now up and running in several snow parks across the region. Longtime Chelan County Sheriff Brian Burnett will officially retire from the Sheriff's Department at the end of the year. And 2 retiring Chelan County PUD commissioners with a combined 34 years of service said their goodbyes yesterday at their final board meeting. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Bring the whole family up to Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house in historic downtown Chelan. Applewood smoked brisket, street-style tacos, and our award-winning barbecue rubs and sauces. Our meals pair perfectly with our exciting lineup of craft ales, made right here in Chelan. We've got room for big groups, or give us a call for catering. So grab the kids and check out the fun at Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house located in the heart of Chelan.
At D.A. Davidson in Wenatchee, they believe your investment success begins with a personalized plan. A plan that is the roadmap you need to navigate your way to living your best years in retirement. D.A. Davidson can help you create a plan so you can take the time to enjoy the finer things in life. Let the financial advisors at D.A. Davidson help chart your retirement future today.
Welcome back. In another news, avalanche beacon boards are now up and running in several snow parks across the region. The beacon boards are a way for people venturing into the backcountry to ensure their emergency beacons are on and transmitting properly. They also list the website for the Northwest Avalanche Center for up-to-date reports on avalanche conditions. Funding for the boards was donated by Kittitas County Search and Rescue and the family of Washington State Patrol Trooper Steve Hooley, who lost his life in an avalanche last year in the French Cabin area. Longtime Chelan County Sheriff Brian Burnett will officially retire from the Sheriff's Department at the end of the year. Burnett, who lost re-election after 12 years in the post, had the option to return to his commissioned deputy's rank once Sheriff-elect Mike Morrison takes office. Instead, the 55-year-old sheriff gave notice to the county that he would leave the department on December 31st. The Chelan County Board of Commissioners voted Monday to approve Burnett's removal from the county payroll. His successor, Morrison, who's been a Chelan County deputy for the last 8 years, is due to be sworn in as sheriff in a ceremony coming up on December 29th. 2 retiring Chelan County PUD commissioners with a combined 34 years of service said their goodbyes yesterday at their final board meeting. Ann Congdon, who's been on the commission for 18 years, and Dennis Bowles, who served 16 years, were recognized for their service to the PUD and public power statewide. Emotions were running high as both commissioners expressed their appreciation for how well the board has worked together.
I just want to thank everybody. There's not enough time, but I want to thank all of you for your commitment, for your dedication to Chelan PUD. I appreciate the talent and the professionalism that you've brought to the organization, and I just don't know how to thank all of you enough. It's just been a blessing working with all of you, and I will really miss you.
You know, damn it, I'm going to miss you guys. And for the commission going forward, there was a lot of unanimous votes in the last 16 years. But you know what? It was hard to get the unanimous. And sometimes it's a lot easier to have a split vote. But we decided that we wanted to try to get to where the other person was. And that's huge.
You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Coming up next, tonight's feature story and your complete local weather forecast. That and much more still to come on the NCWLIFE Evening News. Please stay with us.
The holiday season is here, and life is hectic. Let Merry Maids help simplify yours. You expect a lot, and Merry Maids delivers more. They'll make your home or business sparkle for holiday parties, special events, and family gatherings. They'll customize the cleaning to fit your needs and your budget. Merry Maids are cleaning experts. They're licensed, bonded, and insured. Best of all, your satisfaction is always guaranteed. Visit online, merrymaids.com, and call for a free estimate. Then you can relax. It's done.
Family roles change with time. You may find yourself being an unpaid caregiver to a loved one. Caregiving can be rewarding, but also stressful. Taking care of yourself is vital. Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington has low or no cost services for unpaid caregivers, such as in-home support, care supplies, and counseling. Connect in your local area by calling Aging and Adult Care at 800-572-4459 and mention you're interested in caregiver support.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. Governor Jay Inslee and Attorney General Bob Ferguson have thrown their weight behind a proposal to ban the sale of assault-style firearms in Washington and to allow greater leeway to sue gun manufacturers and sellers. In tonight's feature story, the two appeared at a press conference yesterday in Tukwila and said the two pieces of legislation could be taken up by lawmakers in January.
The question for Washington State fundamentally is, are my two grandkids, or all our grandkids, going to have to live in a normal Washington that is a scourge of gun violence? We should not accept this as normal. It is abnormal, and we have to act if we're going to change the course of the history of this state. Second thing we haven't talked about today, but we really need to, and that is gun violence to yourself. Taking your life by suicide, gun violence by your husband or your son or daughter that is caused by the presence of a gun in your home. If there is a pistol in your home your family members are much, much, much more likely to be injured by that pistol than some intruder in your home. That's the real risk of guns in your home.
Banning the sale of assault weapons. Multiple states have done that. Federal courts across the country have upheld those. They are constitutional, right? So that's something that's been done by other states. Courts have reviewed those, and they've been upheld. On the new proposal around liability, I think I mentioned there's a federal law that grants a lot of protections for these retailers and manufacturers, but that federal law does contain a specific exception if states choose to utilize it. So we're not simply proposing a state law that's in contrast or contradiction of that federal law, PLACA. In fact, it is utilizing an exception that that federal law contemplates and is explicit about, and that essentially invites states to say, hey, if you want to provide that level of liability on folks who don't take reasonable steps, you can do that. And so, like all things, there's litigation around those things. Courts have upheld those around the country. And so, as you might also imagine, my legal team is here. We are working carefully with our sponsors, legislators, to make sure we are crafting this in a way that is consistent with that federal law. But it's important to underscore that federal law does contemplate. It has a specific exception for states who want to take the action that we're proposing today.
Let's take a look now at your North Central Washington weather forecast. Hope your Tuesday was a good one. It was a cold one out there today. 11 degrees unofficially our high temperature today. And unfortunately, that's going to be warmer than our next 2 days' high temperatures, which we'll talk about in a second. 32 is where we should be for this time of year. Our record high just a couple of years ago, 51 degrees, and that was set back in 2020. Our low this morning, 3 degrees, well below where we should be for lows temperatures right now. 24 is normal. Our record low, 7 degrees below zero, and that was set in 2008. We did pick up 8/100ths of an inch of moisture out of all this snow, and that now gets us to 9 inches even for the year. And boy, that's the best I've seen in quite a while. About 5 inches of snow today. I know many of you picked up more than that, maybe some of you a little less, but in general about 5 to 6 inches today, and that already gets us to 23 inches for the season, which began back on October 1st. Our sunrise, 7:45 this morning, and it's set this afternoon at 4:12. Taking a look at what we can expect tomorrow, I mentioned cooler temperatures, and we are certainly going to see that. Single digits for all of us in our viewing area tomorrow. 8 degrees for Moses Lake, 9 in Ephrata and Quincy, 8 degrees in Wenatchee as well. It is going to be chilly. 6 for both Leavenworth and Entiat. 5 degrees, the high temperature tomorrow in Lake Chelan, and only 3 for you folks up in Omak. Tonight we can expect mostly cloudy skies. Here's the area of low pressure that did move through today and brought us that snow. It will be cold overnight once again with low temperatures, lower single digits for us getting into Wednesday. Yeah, first day of winter. Going to look and feel like it out there. Mostly cloudy and very cold. We will see highs, as we just talked about, generally in the upper single digits for your Wednesday. And boy, as we get Wednesday night into Thursday, we are talking very frigid wind chills. 24 below zero here in Wenatchee, 25 below in Winthrop and also Chelan, and it will be cool all the way into eastern Washington too. And look at these temperatures. That pink is unbelievably cold air, and it goes all the way down into southern Kansas. We are looking at maybe some evening snow as we get you into Thursday. Then a better chance for snow on Friday. Cloudy with snow likely. You can see that throughout the state, and this is even into Friday night, so expect an all-day snow event possibly on Friday. High temperatures will be a little bit better into the mid-teens. For Christmas Eve, our airflow changes to the southwest, and that will scour out some of that Arctic air that's over us right now. It'll also bring us some wetter weather. Snow likely on Christmas Eve. Temperatures generally in the mid-20s. And then for Christmas Day, we have a big storm just off the coast of Washington. That'll bring us some evening rain and snow showers showers on Christmas, but look at those high temperatures. Mid-30s for Christmas Day, and then on Monday, as that system throws the first wave of moisture our way, it's going to be a rain event, folks. On Monday, rain is likely. We're going to warm up. We could possibly see highs on Monday near 40 degrees, and won't that feel nice? Taking a look now at our 7-day forecast, brought to you by Apple Valley Honda. Going to get cold overnight tonight, 3 degrees for overnight low, 8 for tomorrow. How about this for an overnight low into Thursday? 10 degrees below zero. Boy, keep an eye on the pets. Maybe check one of your elderly neighbors to see how they're doing, and keep those faucets dripping at night overnight on Wednesday into Thursday. 4 degrees are high for Thursday, 2 overnight, and then things begin to moderate. Temperature-wise, we'll see 14 for Friday. Snow is likely. 26 with the rain-snow mix for Saturday. Just a slight chance for snow on Sunday, and 36, and then rain likely for Monday with a high temperature then of 38. And that's a look at your local weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa end of the year blowout sale is going on now. Spas are scientifically proven to improve sleep and ease arthritis pain. Let us help you find the perfect spa today. Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa is helping families reconnect, one hot tub at a time.
And now it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel.
And a happy Tuesday to you. Gonzaga took care of its home court while Washington State won on the road in women's college basketball last night. Bulldogs got 13 points apiece from Yvonne Ejim and Brenna Maxwell in a 70-59 win over San Diego. Highlights courtesy of Gonzaga Athletics. Yeah, GU goes on for the win. Bulldog coach Lisa Fortier credits San Diego for some tough defense that forced her players to keep their cool.
I mean, they're a great defensive program. I would say, I think from year to year, team to team, they might turn you over more or just get regular stops or just get rebounds. But program-wide, as long as Cindy's been there, she does a really good job coaching the defense. And, they've got great athletes on their team, and they body it. Their motto is clearly to be physical, and I think that's with us and everybody else. And I thought that there were some things that could have gone our way that didn't. There were certainly some stretches where our team, we were right there on the bubble, coach and players, of losing some composure. Luckily, there was a couple timeouts that was able to settle us down, and we fought through that because it was not easy. They stepped around the basket. We shoot the ball a lot better than we shot it from 3 and from 2 today. And generally, our numbers are a lot higher than that, and they make you work because they guard.
Meanwhile, Washington State earned a tough road win over Texas A&M Corpus Christi last night by a score of 75-49. Charlize Ledger-Walker and Tara Wallach each had 20 points to pace the Cougars.
Rebound ripped down, though, by Matuga. Back over to Charlize. Reloading. Got it! Fourth three of the first half for Charlize Ledger-Walker. Wallach back outside to Matuga. Matuga finds a cutting Terrell Wallach. Great pass, Ula Matuga. And now Terrell Wallach has got a server into the corner to Gardner. 3-ball on the way, too strong. Wallach with an offensive rebound and a reverse layup at the horn. Gardner brings it up court, passes to Matuga at the top. Hits a cutting Charlize Ledger-Walker. Back out to the corner for Gardner for three. Got it! Kira Gardner with the three, and it looks like we're going to have a foul after the fact. Inbounds pass to Tahina, and now it's over. Cougars improved to 9-2 on the season, while the Islanders dropped to 5-6. Cougars come away with a 75-49 victory.
Wazoo coach Cammie Etheridge says the Cougs had a strong finish after a slow start.
Yeah, well-rounded team effort. I didn't love our first half. I thought we were a little bit soft in the post and in the paint in general. Really, again, loved our team's response coming out of halftime. I thought Ula and Tara, obviously Charlize had a great game, but having 4 people in double figures is a great thing for us, with a couple other kids sniffing 10. So you got to be happy with it. The road win is big, no matter who you're playing and where it is. So good response for us.
On tap earlier today, of course, scores coming up tomorrow morning. Washington hosting SIU Edwardsville. Utah State visiting Eastern Washington. On the men's schedule today, also earlier, Eastern Washington hosting Northwest Indian. And right now, 11th ranked Gonzaga getting ready to host Montana. It was, it might be the holiday break for area high schools, but that means tournament time for basketball teams around the region. The Giesa Winter Shootout got underway yesterday. Eastmont and Wenatchee high schools. The Wildcats came out on top of Prairie in the first round, 84-66. Meade beat Wenatchee 61-48. Schedules today included University earlier against Prairie. Wenatchee High School, the location for that. Wenatchee facing Sela in a loser's bracket game tonight at 7:30. Eastmont takes on Meade in the semifinals. Busy boys schedule today. Liberty Bell earlier playing at Bush. Tonight at 7. It's Ephrata at Royal. Chelan's hosting Kashmir at 7:15. 7:30 games have Omak at Okanagan, and also it's Waterville Mansfield playing at Manson, Brewsters at Reardon, Bridgeport visiting Moses Lake Christian. Girls basketball Monday, Eastmont girls topped Curtis to advance in the Giesa Winter Shootout. 56-45 the final. Wenatchee fell to Post Falls 65-15. Scheduled today included Heritage and Sela. Wenatchee against Curtis. Earlier, Wenatchee Jackson facing Federal Way in one of the semifinal games. And at Eastmont, they are taking on Post Falls at 6 o'clock. Ephrata plays Royal. That game underway. Chelan taking on Kashmir. Also, the games coming up. Manson hosting Waterville Mansfield, Brewster visiting Reardon, and Bridgeport at Moses Lake Christian. Moses Lake faces Eastlake tonight at 6:15. Seattle Kraken back on the ice at Climate Pledge Arena tonight. There'll be the St. Louis Blues in town at 7 o'clock. St. Louis comes in with a 16-15-1 record, while the Kraken are third in the Pacific Division at 17-10-3. Coach Dave Haxtell says he's pleased with the team and being in the playoff contention right now, but there's a lot of hockey left to be played.
Well, you have to continue to grow throughout a year. We're in a spot that we've worked hard to gain the opportunity to be in right now. But reality is 30 games in. Now you have to continue pushing, and the strength of the group will be tested as you go through the next 52 games. But I think that's something that, you relish that opportunity, right? Our guys have worked very hard, as a whole. They've worked hard to become a good team, I think right from day one, the camaraderie and, working hard in the dressing room to make sure that we're a tight-knit group is important. Now it's, okay, we're 30 games in. Now we have to keep building and keep pushing. But there's a lot of race left to be run.
Well, you can wrap up in a warm blanket tonight at home. Maybe have a fire going as the Blues and Kraken play at 7 o'clock on Root Sports Northwest. That's sports. Grant, back to you.
Thank you very much, Eric. And that will do it for our newscast tonight. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks for being with us, and have a great night.